The moment I saw the message pop up on her phone, my breath folded in on itself like paper burning at the edges. It was just one line, but it hit harder than any punch. I missed last night already. Not from me. Not even close. I remember standing there in the kitchen, the quiet hum of the fridge sounding way too calm for what was happening inside my chest. My wife, Layla, was upstairs getting ready for the community talent show, humming her favorite old song like nothing was wrong. As if the ground under us hadn't just split open. I didn't open the rest of the conversation. I didn't need to. That single sentence was enough to drag every uneasy feeling I'd been stuffing away straight into the light. For weeks, something had felt off. A colder kiss. A quicker turn of the phone when I walked into the room. Layla laughing at jokes I hadn't heard. Jokes I wasn't part of. As if there was a parallel world where she lived a second life. I told myself I was imagining it. Marriage dips, right? People get stressed. People get busy. Turns out, people also get comfortable with lying. I walked upstairs slowly, each step heavy with this sick mix of hurt and anger. She stood in front of the mirror adjusting her hair, smiling at her reflection. That smile used to feel like home. Now it looked like a costume she put on before stepping onto a stage. "You ready?" she asked, turning to me. "Yeah," I said. "Ready." But inside, something was cracking. Not loud, just steady, like ice breaking under a thin weight. We drove to the school gym together. She talked about her performance, a silly comedic bit she'd planned for weeks. Her voice floated around me, but it felt far away, muffled, the way sound gets underwater. I kept seeing that text in my mind, the words glowing like a warning sign. At the show, families gathered around cafeteria tables, kids running around with face paint, staff juggling microphones and wires. Layla slipped away to join the performers backstage. I sat alone in the third row, staring at the cheap paper program in my hand like it held answers. The man she'd been talking to. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know how long it had been happening. I didn't know if they'd met last night, or last week, or for months. All I knew was that I wasn't part of her world the way I thought I was. Something had shifted without me noticing, and now I was sitting in a room full of cheerful families while my marriage collapsed quietly in my pocket. When her act was announced, I forced myself to look up. She came out dressed in a goofy outfit, cheeks flushed with excitement. And she was funny. Really funny. People burst into laughter as she exaggerated her clumsy dance routine, pretending to trip over her own feet. She had always been good at making people feel lighter. That was one of the reasons I fell for her. But the laughter hit different tonight. It echoed, sharp and distant, like I was watching a stranger wearing my wife's face. When she finished, she scanned the crowd for me, her smile bright and searching. I clapped. Not because I wanted to, but because muscle memory made me. Her eyes found mine, and she winked. The wink used to mean, "Did you like it?" Tonight it looked more like, "You still don't know." Except I did. After the show ended, people swarmed around her, congratulating her, hugging her, telling her she stole the night. She soaked in the attention, laughing even harder than she had on stage. I watched from a distance, feeling like a ghost brushing the edges of a life that had already moved on without me. When the crowd finally thinned, we walked toward the parking lot. The air had cooled, and the parking lights cast long shadows across the asphalt. "That went well," she said. "Everyone loved it." "Yeah," I replied. "They did." She glanced at me, noticing something in my voice. "You okay?" I held her gaze. "Who's texting you things like 'I missed last night already'?" Her whole body stiffened. It was subtle, but I'd lived beside her long enough to catch even the smallest shift. She looked away, swallowed, then tried to steady her breathing. "You went through my phone?" she asked, voice thin. "You left it on the counter." It lit up. I saw it. I didn't go looking for anything. She closed her eyes for a long moment, as if she were rewinding all the possible ways this conversation could have gone but now had to face the only direction left, the truth. "It wasn't supposed to mean anything," she whispered. "Then why does it?" I asked. Her face twisted with guilt and something like fear. "I don't know. I messed up. I should have stopped it. I don't even know how it got that far. I just felt seen again. The sentence punched harder than the text had. Seen by him, I said. She didn't answer. The parking lot suddenly felt way too open, as if the whole night was watching us fall apart under soft yellow lights. I should have told you, she said. I just didn't want to break things. You already did, I said quietly. Silence followed us all the way to the car. She sat with her hands on her lap, staring out the window like the world outside was easier to face than the one inside the vehicle. We drove home in near silence. At one point she reached for my hand, hesitant, hopeful. I didn't pull away. I didn't hold on either. My hand just sat there, cold and still as a stone she couldn't grasp. At home, she went upstairs. I stayed in the living room, staring at the empty talent show program. Her picture was on the back page, smiling wide, arms open like someone who hadn't learned yet how badly people can hurt each other. I don't know how long I sat there. Minutes. Hours. Time felt blurry and bitter. She finally came back down, eyes red, voice shaking. I'm ending it. Whatever it is, it's over. I don't want to lose you. Part of me wanted to believe her. Wanted to step into the version of life where this was just a storm we'd outrun together. But trust doesn't come back just because someone calls it home. I need space, I said. I need time. She nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks, quiet as spilled ink. We didn't yell. We didn't throw things. We didn't collapse into some dramatic finale. Sometimes the worst endings are the soft ones, the ones where every word feels like a small goodbye. She went upstairs again. I stayed on the couch, letting the room settle around me. Maybe we'll fix it. Maybe we won't. But tonight, the truth stepped out of the shadows, and I finally stopped pretending I didn't see the cracks. Sometimes freedom doesn't feel like flying. Sometimes it feels like sitting alone in a quiet room, finally admitting the pain you tried so hard to outrun.